What, Joe? What?
Want to holler?
No. You want to holler? Good afternoon, everyone. Please take a seat. See, Joe, you don't need to holler. Just... Okay. Yeah, there are some seats over here at the front. Good afternoon, welcome, and thank you for joining us today for Energia Ventures' 9th Demo Day. I'm Belle Kober, and I have the privilege and the honor to be the program manager for the Accelerator programs. Out of many impressive applicants, this year, 5 have been selected. Scient from Nova Scotia, Kefobics from Turkey and US, Tutor Labs from Nova Scotia, Keys from Ontario, and Motive Power from New Brunswick. I think they deserve a round of applause, don't you think? In the past 3 months, the 5 selected companies worked intensively with mentors, staff, and instructors to bring us to today. The outcome of this process is a company ready for investment, and we have 5. Today, we invite you to join us celebrating their achievements and celebrate the wonder of entrepreneurship. I would like to welcome to the stage Dr. David McGee, the Vice President of Research at University of New Brunswick.
Thank you, Inbal, and good afternoon, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Dr. Dave McGee, Vice President Research at the University of New Brunswick. I want to begin this afternoon's festivities by respectfully acknowledging that UNB stands on this unsurrendered and unceded traditional Wolastoqey land. The lands of the Wabanaki people are recognized in a series of peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. The river that runs through our city is known as the Wolastoq, along which live the Wolastoqey, the people of the beautiful and bountiful river. Wolastoq is also called the St. John River. It is my pleasure to be here this afternoon with everyone. There we go. All right. As the most entrepreneurial university in Canada, UNB is excited to be hosting the 9th cohort of Energia Ventures and the first cohort of 2023. This startup accelerator out of the J. Herbert Smith Center for Technology Management and Entrepreneurship has been providing an innovative program in support amazing businesses and entrepreneurs since 2016. With this cohort, we have had 40 companies go through the program. The companies from last year's cohorts alone have filled more than 15 new positions since the completion of their program. One company from the 2022 fall cohort decided to move from Luxembourg to incorporate here in Fredericton. They will be creating new positions in the local economy and advancing technology and engineering development in this province. This company expects to grow to a 45-employee company in the next 2.5 years. This is just the most recent example of how our focus on bringing new solutions to the market is also bringing new industry and people to New Brunswick. The 2023 cohort was, once again, a diverse group. The cohort had 5 companies, 3 from Atlantic Canada, 1 from Ontario, and 1 from the United States. I am proud that these teams could take part in our excellent accelerator program. UNB provides continued value in education through experiential learning for students at energy level and creating real solutions for energy, electric vehicles, education, sustainability, and engineering. I look forward to following your continued success. I cannot wait to see how you apply what you have learned here today in these last few weeks to your future endeavors and I look very much forward to this afternoon's presentations and being first to see what's coming out of this group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. McGee. I would like to welcome to the stage Dr. Joshua Leon, the Dean of Engineering at University of New Brunswick.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm extremely excited to see the tremendous work that the Herbert Smith Center is doing in this area. And I think, main reason I'm here is that Dharindra's on sabbatical, and I'm the interim director, and he wanted to be paid overtime if he had to get up here and speak, and I said, no way. So I think that's really why I'm here. But no, since I've been here in the last 9 months, since I came to UNB, it's amazing to see the companies that have come through here and the very quiet success of UNB-based or connected companies. And to see 5 more launched, which I know will be successful because we're in an extremely supportive ecosystem for emerging technology businesses. And it's probably the unsung success of Canada is really what's happening here in Fredericton. And I like to think that the J. Herbert Smith Center, the education we provide, the support, and I'm told even a tiny bit of cash, which always greases the wheels of business, makes a huge difference. So congratulations to everybody here today. And for any investors in the audience, this is your big chance. Today, the price is only going up.
Thank you, Dr. Leon. I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Joe Allen, CPA, CA, and Managing Director of the Accelerator Programs.
I'm not used to standing behind a podium. I feel like I need to grip it. I just want to say congratulations to all the entrepreneurs that have worked with us over the last 12 weeks. You've made it a lot of fun. And you've exceeded our expectations. We made sure we were pushing you, and you've gone beyond that. And hats off to you, and good job. And I think we should take a moment to... And I know it's still early, but I also want to say it takes a village. So I want to thank everybody in the room. The success of these entrepreneurs and the guidance that the community provides them is something that is really hard to get, and Fredericton and UNB, we I hate to brag, but we do it well, and we're very proud of the community that we're a part of. So we're not here to hear me talk. We're here to see some wonderful presentations. Our first presentation will be done by Masoud. Masoud is joining us from Halifax, and he is revolutionizing, that's a big word, sorry, mining. So without further ado, I'll turn the floor over to Masoud.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good, fantastic. Let's get started. You have probably heard about battery or chip shortage in various industries. It was much worse during COVID when you couldn't find a piece of electronic because supply chain couldn't catch up with the demand. You might be surprised to know that this supply chain problem wasn't enough because we don't have enough material on Earth. The real challenge was because 98% of mining exploration initiatives fail. The industry is relying on domain expert opinion and subjective analysis done by geologists to define where to drill. This subjectivity and inefficiency not only has been failing to de-risk the industry, but also costing the industry $11 billion annually. At Science, we think this problem is like dog poop under the rain because it's just getting worse over time as the industry is pushing the mining sector to grow. In the last 5 years, mineral production in Canada has increased by over 39%. In Atlantic Canada, where science is active, mineral production has increased by over 200%, which is signaling that science is at the right place at the right time. Here we go. At Scient, we empower mining development companies and geologists by identifying minerals that are indistinguishable by the human eye. These are minerals that are considered as key proxies for exploring critical minerals or precious metals. Our workflow, our innovation, has several unique value propositions. Our real-time analysis removes the latency between drilling and collecting samples and turning them into data that can support operational decisions in real time. We also digitize the core assets for the mining sector, which allows remote work of experts offsite that can reduce the operational costs by over 60%. And the last but not least, something that I'm very proud of is that we can reduce the environmental footprint of mineral exploration by minimizing the number of drillings that needs to happen for a successful mining exploration. To put all of this in perspective, I want to talk about the business model. Every year, Canadian mining companies produce 35 million meters of core samples. Our imaging workstation can scan 1,000 meters of rock in an 8-hour shift, and only if you count the working days, we can scan 250,000 meters of core per imaging workstation per year. Following our business model, which we charge $20 per meter, our imaging workstation can produce $5 million annually. What differentiates Scient from alternative practices is our ability to do real-time analysis in a streamlined and objective way. At Scient, I believe that our team is the core asset. I have a PhD in geophysics with 12 years of experience in various natural resource exploration. We also have Luke on the team, who is the geoscience lead, has a PhD from UBC. Jobber is our scientific programming lead. He's a PhD candidate at Dalhousie. And we are also supported with a big group of advisors that helping us making a business case out of our innovation. I want to shift gear and talk about the milestones that we have achieved in the past year or so. So far, we have done over 100 customer discovery interviews. I was personally involved in all of them. That not only gives us valuable insight about this industry, but also helped us de-risk problem solution fit. We have a working prototype that is already installed at the pilot site at the client location. We have 3 LOIs from the private sector, and we have raised over $600K non-dilutive funding, which gives us 10 months of runway. The future looks even better for Scient. We have 2 pilot projects, 2 paid pilot projects, scheduled for the next 4 months. We are looking to save and secure our IP that has been developed within Scient by the team members, and we are raising $1 million to scale up the business and turn Scient from a company in Nova Scotia into a global player. In the coming fall, we are having a seed round where we are raising $1 million, and there are several objectives that we are looking to touch on. To end, I want to say that Scient's mission is to reduce the environmental footprint of mining sector. And I truly believe that we are up to something. We have our feasibility of technology is rock solid, and we are validating the viability by doing pilots. And I'm looking forward to see turning Scient from a company in Nova Scotia in Atlantic Canada to a global player that serves mining sector in 5 continents. Thank you.
Thank you, Masood. I have the pleasure to introduce Cohort's team. They came all the way from Turkey in order to present here today. They have another base in United States, but I think their solution is so innovative and so much needed here in Canada that with no further ado, Mustafa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi, my name is Mustafa Kemalişen. I am CEO of Cohort. I think everybody in this room lives, like winter times, right? Because you live in Canada. But because in Canada, Canada became the most, romantic country in the world, and people enjoy the winter sports, especially the children. However, ice loads or wet snow can be a big problem for Canadian lifestyle. Ice can cover all the lines. This can be a huge load for poles, and it can destroy all the lines. One of the biggest effects ice load is causes the fall down of the poles. It's kind of a domino effect. When it starts, it can go kilometers of the line. As you know, just 2 years ago, Texas faced this icing problem. Ice covered all of the states. Hundreds of energy poles were down, and more than 700 people died because of this problem. Even Texas suffered this problem, and it cost nearly $200 billion for Texas. Bad news. Because of global warming, this problem will increase. Energy distribution companies will have to pay much more money in the future. Unfortunately, we will face more power outage. What about current solution in the world? It's a solution from Canada. Manitoba Hydro have to clean the line periodically. If don't clean, you know. Here, another method from Norway, the pendulum method, is stick dangling out the helicopter, knock down the lines. And here, another one, Here, another one, it's primitive, unbelievable method. But more than 90% of the world using these methods. We are 21st century, it's still solutions is here. The second problem that we solve is icing problem on wind turbines. As you can see, the turbines can getting ice and snow occurs. Up to 22% of efficiency can drop in wind turbines. We need more renewable energy in this age. It is not acceptable. As you can see, there are lots of solutions. Also, they use helicopter too. Here, our solution. It's kind of magic. A super hydrophobic nanocomposite material can cover all the problem. It can repel the water so no ice occurs. You can see the video. The left one is not covered by Cohort, the right one covered by Cohort. Please have a look at that. Water can still in here, so ice occurs, but in the right side, no water means no ice. Believe or not, it is cost like nothing. We can cover a meter of the line just 15 cents. It's cheaper than a bubble gum, especially in Canada. Let's say we have electricity distribution company has a 6,000 kilometer line long. That is seriously affected by ice load problem in their lines. The cost of this line is just $15 million. It's nearly equal to lose 1 or 2 poles. It can be an insurance of the line because energy distribution companies can lose tens of millions of dollars for it. They can lose their prestige. How much the cost of a prestige for an energy distribution company? Or power outage can affect the human life. How much the cost of a human? We can easily apply our coating in all surfaces, like using drone or spray directly. Also, we can use this kind of robots for application. We have lots of technical advantages over our competitors. For example, although FaceBreak is a huge coating company and operate more than 40 countries, their product is not super hydrophobic. Their material only hydrophobic. Also, applying surface is very huge process for them. Process is so long, even 2 or 3 steps. It causes cost because the wind turbines should shut down while the process. Our process is a lot simpler than their process, spray it and finish. Also, our coating haven't got any saline or any hazardous chemicals in it, so it's very friendly, environmentally friendly. The most important, the coating is so cheap as a bubble gum, as I said. This product has emerged as a result of more than 3 years R&D experience with our team. I am Mustafa Kemalişen. I am an entrepreneur since 2010. I founded 7 different companies and successful exits. And here, Professor Dr. Fatih Büyükserin, he has PhD from University of Florida and he has postdoc from University of Texas. He has experience more than 25 years in material science. And he is Emre Gültaktı. He is doing his PhD in this project. And he has 8 years of experience. And Kayra Kurnaz is our entrepreneur also. He has more than 2 years of experience. We signed a contract with 2 paid customers, Medash and Dedash. I hope we will sign 2 Canadian customers in there too, MB Power and Sangen Energy. We are raising now 500K as a pre-seed rounds. We secured already half of them from Ars Portfeuille and Santa Ventures. Of course, we have some rooms for you gentlemen. We can shape our future together. Thank you.
If you ever expand your market to windshields and driveways, let me know. I don't want to. I'll be very interested in that. Hi everyone, I'm Igor. I'm the operations coordinator with Energia, and I've been working with education for quite some time now, different initiatives, different places, different countries. And I believe that our next company has a huge potential in the next few years. I think they're doing a great job, and I'm looking forward to see what they will present to the market in the months to come. So please welcome Tutor Labs to the stage.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Maria, and I'm very excited to be talking to you today about Tutor Labs AI, where innovation meets education. So our education system is facing many challenges, and we all know this. We're looking at high dropout rates, we're looking at achievement gaps, inequities, inadequate personalization to our students, very much overworked educators that are being guided to prioritize curriculum coverage over diversifying their teaching strategies. And we're also impacted by infrequent assessments. So often teachers are getting the student feedback when it's too little and too late as well. These all produce a very negative impact on our students. So imagine their future prospects. Not good. So looking at the numbers, where between 5 and 14% of high school students that are failing to graduate with their peers. Some communities, this is as high as 50%, so every second student. Case study here, Jenna, 11th grade student, who's been struggling for a couple of years now. Her gap is currently so wide that her teachers are unable to help her bridge that gap and overcome it. How do we help Jenna and students like her? I'm taking you back 40 years to the University of Chicago. A groundbreaking research by Benjamin Bloom is presenting the 2 sigma problem. Looking at 3 different settings of learning, we can see that one-on-one mentorship or one-on-one tutoring is helping students reach higher performance by 2 standard deviations. 2 standard deviations would be roughly like taking a C student, turning them into an A+ student. Just imagine the impact on that student's prospects. So like I said, this has been around for 40 years, and every educator you will talk to will know this research. However, the problems in our education system remain the same. The reason is that up until this point, we haven't been able to act on the conclusions of this research. Today, with the help of AI technology, we can. Solving the 2 sigma problem with an AI tutor technology that will be available to every student. Jenna here interacting with an AI tutor technology have her knowledge gap identified and filled right where they happen. It is an interactive and conversational-like experience. It is adaptive and personalized. So while a classroom teacher is unable to cover the 10 ways to solve that math problem, our AI tutor is. And it will identify the strategy that this student responds to best. Real-time assessment. Remember feedback coming too little, too late? Not here. Every single user input is incorporated and adjusted on the next learning materials that are presented to the student. And of course, 24/7 availability. Not all students have their focus on between 8:30 and 2:30. Some might like it at a Saturday morning or whenever they are ready to learn. So that's not all. The AI tutor technology, we are wrapping in a few more key components. Being a parent myself, I know how important it is for parents and educators to be involved in the education process, monitoring and following up on the progress. Group study capabilities, multiple interface support. Some of our students are struggling with written words. They need a voice interface. Canadian curriculum, that's our focus. We want to help here at home first. And of course, gifted programs, because just as our students who are falling behind are not being accommodated at school, so are our overachievers. Let's take a look under the hood and see how this is done. So we have 3 pillars here. First is our user interface, which we are currently focusing on web and mobile. But soon in the future, we would want to be wherever our students are, whether that's Apple Vision, the metaverse, of course, voice interface. Our next, where basically our secret sauce, where the magic happens, is our AI models. So we are not a ChatGPT wrapper. We are building, training, fine-tuning our own models, incorporating them in a pipeline, combining very new AI techniques coming out of research just from the very last few months, looking at prompt engineering, chain of thought techniques, few shots learning, and more. And of course, we need a comprehensive back-end system to tie up all the ends, give us the user management that we need. Everything is on the cloud, serverless, and will allow us to scale. Let's take a look at the market opportunity here. We can see that private tutoring market is sized at 29 billion. E-learning market is sized at 210. But the real remarkable information here is the compounded annual growth rate. Private tutoring, we're looking at roughly 9%. E-learning, we're looking at roughly 14%. AI in education is 36.6%. This is an astonishing opportunity right now. Obviously, we are not the only one who thinks this is a good idea. Great idea, in fact. Khan Academy is working on their own tutor, focused mainly on younger audiences. Synthesis is working on their AI tutor, strictly focused on math curriculums. Our uniqueness, we focus on Canadian curriculums, high school students. We want to be when it matters the most, helping them right there when college applications, university applications are right around the corner. Touching a little bit on our revenue model, we are a SaaS subscription-based model, offering also family plans, discounts and subsidies, scholarships when needed, because we want to make sure that we are affordable for every student that needs us. Our team, Danny, our CTO, bringing 15 years of experience as a lead solution architect, running project of $1 million for TD, Rogers, and other big names. Dr. Hongbin Wan, who is a senior research advisor at the Harvard Extension School University and is supporting us on this journey. Myself, CEO, I've been a software engineer for 15 years now. In the last few years, made a switch into data science, mainly because I want to bring information, turn it into insights and value. What we need to make this a reality is $650,000. We will spend them mostly on research and development. 30% of that will go to computing and 15% to marketing and sales. This will allow us a runway of 18 months at the burn rate of $36K a month. And I will leave you with a quote that I feel really captures the historic moment in time we are currently living in. This is by Andrew Ng, who is a co-founder of Google Brain and an AI activist. And just as electricity transformed almost everything 100 years ago, today I cannot think of an industry that AI will not transform. So equal opportunity for all Canadian students starts right here. Thank you very much for your time, everyone.
Great. Thank you, thank you. I always think that information is out there and it's so easily accessible. We can basically access anything we want, but in such a customized and organized way, I think we can leverage technology so much in this area. So I'm really looking forward to what you are developing. All right, so next up, we have a company that if you ever had any headache related to renting, subletting, and this type of thing, I think you'd be very interested in what they have to say. So without further ado, Terry from Keys.
Awesome, let's get started. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be here out in New Brunswick. Like Igor had mentioned, my name is Terry. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Keys. And simply put, we're building a product to give tenants the freedom to move when they need to without fear of lease break penalties. But before I get into what this means and why it's so important that we tackle this issue today, I'm really excited to announce that as of today, we've signed 4 pilot projects with over 3,500 rental units combined just in the last 6 weeks, and we're really proud of this achievement. Even better, the first pilot goes live in just a few weeks in August of this year. So, back to the question at hand. Why do renters need more flexibility in the first place? Well, we already know that people move around, whether it's for a new job, to purchase a home, or just to chase new opportunities. People are going to move, and it might not line up with their leases. But what you might not know is that it's really, really expensive to break a lease down in the US. I found out myself when I moved down to Fargo, North Dakota, just a few months ago at the beginning of March. Crazy experience, great people, but unfortunately, I also found out how expensive it is and how restrictive lease breaks can be. Down in the US, tenants have to pay up to 2 to 4 months in an upfront penalty just to break their lease, which is crazy. But that's not all. They're also on the hook for rent obligations until that unit is released, meaning that the total cost of breaking a lease could be upwards of 6, 7, 8, you name it, number of months. That's insane, and that's holding back so many people. 82% of renters want to move in within their lease. That's a huge number, and we want to support those. But fewer than 40% of those renters can afford to right now. There's a gap here that needs to be addressed, and that's why we're building Keys. Simply put, it's the first ever discretionary insurance coverage specifically for lease breaks. Essentially, if you're a tenant that's covered by our policy, you can move when you need to without worrying about fees, contacting your landlord, or going through all that bureaucracy. We make it simple. And even better, it's embedded directly in the leasing process, which means that you don't have to hunt out this insurance. You don't have to search for it. It's right there when you sign your lease agreement. It's really simple to move out to. We've built out a great online platform through which you can log in, make a request, we verify that request in the background, and you check out, just like it was at the end of an Airbnb stay or the end of a typical lease agreement. We make it incredibly simple, and we handle all of the complexity involved with this. Everything from producing KYC checks at the beginning of sign-up, processing payments, dealing with the insurance complexities, and making sure that checkouts are verified, we handle with our innovative blend of software and processes. And we've been able to bring the cost down as well. If you remember the 2 to 4 months rent from earlier, we've brought it down to just a 7.5% premium across the lease term. That means it's under $100 on average for most renters down in the US. And even better, with common sense, there's no rent commitments post-move out. It really is that simple. Our current business model involves us working as a wholesale insurance broker where we take a 25% commission on lease premiums, and we have a 50-50 revenue sharing agreement with our partner property management companies in order to get our product to market. We're not stopping here, though. Over the next few years, we plan on becoming a licensed MGA through which we'll be handling underwriting responsibilities and claims as well, through which we'll be charging up to 40% commission and change our revenue sharing agreement with landlords and property management companies in order to reflect our changing margins. We're extremely confident in this product of insurance, and we project under a 40% loss ratio over the next 4 years, about 200 to 300 basis points, better than other surety products in the similar renter insurance area. Again, we know that this is the right time to be tackling this problem. 82% of renters want to move within their lease, and this is only going to increase and stay the same. As workplace changes happen, people change jobs more frequently, people want to move into homeownership earlier in their lives. These are changes that we want to take advantage of, and we're already starting. Again, we've signed 4 pilot projects with property management companies representing over 3,500 units already, and we're not stopping here either. We're chasing a $56 billion industry that we'll be creating in the coming years, represented through the 48 million rental households across the US and Canada at an average of $1,300 a month in rent. I couldn't be more proud to be doing this with my co-founder, CTO, and friend, Victor Peter, and with his experience as an ex-Google, ex-Snap engineer, and my experience helping multiple startups go to market successfully here in Canada and down in the US, we're really excited for what's coming up. We're raising We're raising $1.3 million for runway through Q4 of 2025. That's about 30 months of runway. And what that'll allow us to do is launch in 20 states, primarily focused on the upper Midwest in the US, onboard over 200,000 rental units onto our embedded insurance platform, and reach over $800,000 a year in revenue. Again, my name is Terry. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Keys, and I'd love to have you all join us in our journey to help 5.5 million renters each year move without limits. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. Last but not least, we've got Regan Riordan from a company called Motive. Don't get your engines revving yet. We've got one more pitch, so that'll tie in here in a second. Regan's doing some great work, and he's shaking his head at my bad joke, but that'll put him at ease, and it'll make it easier for him. So up next, we've got Regan.
Thank you, Joe. I have been an electric vehicle owner for 3 years. The first year was bliss. I did not have to pay attention to gas prices. The second year, again, bliss. My vehicle needs zero maintenance. The third year, however, I started running into problems at charging stations. While on a road trip with my family, we pulled up to a station. There were 2 cars ahead of us in line, but we had to wait for over an hour before it was our turn to plug in. There were no good food options around, and I had a crying 4-month-old in the back seat. I'm not the only one experiencing this problem. Lots of other Maritimers are running into charging stations that are busy, broken, or incompatible with their vehicles. I did a survey of nearly 200 electric vehicle drivers in the Maritimes a few months ago. Over half of them have been affected by broken level 3 charging, and almost all of them have had to wait at one point or another to use DC fast chargers. And this problem is what's happening now with the current number of cars on the road with the current infrastructure, but it's only going to get worse as more and more people adopt electric vehicles. Federal government regulates that by 2035, every new light-duty vehicle sold has to be electric, which means the current infrastructure just cannot support this new influx of electric vehicles. With that, the market for fast charging is going to grow significantly, not reaching maturity until after 2050. So let's take a look at what this is now in the Maritimes. This is the Maritimes, and this is the current DC fast charging infrastructure. Those red dots represent Tesla superchargers, which currently only charge Tesla vehicles. Other auto manufacturers are starting to adopt the Tesla charging plug, which is a welcome development, but the Tesla supercharger network is insufficient to serve all of the electric vehicles on the road. What's more, you'll notice that it mostly focuses on the Trans-Canada Highway. So if you're in a Tesla driving along the TCH, you're in okay condition. If you're not driving a Tesla, this is the network that's currently available to you. I should mention, the size of the dots you see on the screen correspond to the capacity of the charging stations, how much power they can output, and how many stalls are available for vehicles to charge. There are 4 more stations coming soon from Electrify Canada. They're currently under construction, but not expected to be open before the end of the summer. And again, you'll notice the focus is along the Trans-Canada Highway. This is leaving out major portions of the Maritimes that we know Maritimers and tourists travel. If you're in an EV, you're going to have a hard time going out to visit the Acadian Village, to see Anne's Gables, to explore the Cape Breton Highlands, or go for some Digby scallops. These are the routes that Motive wants to focus on. How come no one else is? Well, the national networks are focusing on national routes. They have equipment that is well suited to those high volume corridors. Regional networks lack a mandate for growth. They're funded with public dollars and rely on government grant to continue to expand their network. But they were in the industry just to spark it, not to continue to grow it. Lastly, smaller property owners are at a disadvantage because they have significant barrier to entry. The equipment is not cheap, and it's complicated to figure out what the right equipment is to install in the first place. So, how do we fix this? Motive is going to design, build, operate, and enhance electric vehicle charging stations for host locations to attract EV drivers to the properties, and we're going to do this with a minimal impact to the grid. We're going to do this at no cost to the host In fact, we're going to offer our hosts a revenue share to make sure that they're invested in the success of these stations. We're going to make sure that our drivers are able to charge anywhere. We're going to be agnostic in terms of what brands we partner with, so that a driver can have their choice of a burger or a sub or a dog park when they're at a rest stop. We're going to make sure we have the right equipment at the right location, making sure that it's right-sized and that we don't have excessive or insufficient infrastructure deployed. And lastly, we're going to get really good at installing these charging stations because that's what's necessary for the next 25 years. We're going to start with equipment from a company called FreeWire. Their Boost charger is about 4 times more powerful than most charging stations in the Maritimes. What's more, it's got integrated battery energy storage, which allows it to get around expensive utility demand fees and opens up interesting opportunities down the road for energy arbitrage and power outage services. We're currently working with them to champion the deployment of this unit in the Maritimes. We are going to partner with the best hosts. We want the best locations, and we want them to have the variety of amenities that our drivers want. We're going to ensure that they've got room for expansion, and of course, that we're working with those property owners that are able to be partnered with us. I've been working for the past 6 months, looking at all the numbers, traffic data, and figuring out what the right equipment is to install in the Maritimes. The plan I present to you today is the result of that focus. Currently, I'm working to install the pilot station. This will validate the integration of the different bits of technology that need to come together to make this all work and to validate our processes to make that happen. After the pilot station goes in, we'll be installing the rest of the network, 37 stations across the rural regions of the Canadian Maritimes. To get our pilot station in the ground, I'm currently looking for $300,000 in equity to deploy it. After that, in 2024, we're going to continue to try to build out our core network. That's going to cost $15 million, but that's not what I'm looking for. 80% of that I expect to come from the Canada Infrastructure Bank. They've got an awesome debt vehicle with really, really low rates and a repayment schedule that fluctuates with the utilization of the network. The remainder of that, the round in 2024, I'll be looking to raise $1.8 million in equity to enable the deployment of our network. What this allows, after the network is fully deployed, we'll be reaching close to $4 million annually in revenue with healthy net income and with the ability to start paying back healthy dividends to our investors. As the market continues to grow, so will our network as we continue to expand individual stations and build new ones all the way through until the market matures after 2050. To make this happen, there's myself. Hi, I'm Regan. I've been an EV enthusiast for over 10 years. I've got education in physics, business, and I've got 5 years experience in software development. I enjoy guidance from Dr. David Ford and Mike Oliver, who are well-versed in the world of entrepreneurship, technology development, and venture creation. When we start deploying the rest of the network, we'll be bringing on our in-house installation team to build that in-house skill set, as well as our sales team, so that we can reach out to the best hosts in the Maritimes. With their help and with yours, we can get there. We can ensure the era of clean, efficient, worry-free mobility is ushered into the Maritimes to help halt climate change. What better motive is there? Thank you.
Regan knows basically anything about EVs. We had long chats on long drives already, and you can just ask him anything and he'll have an answer to it. Or he's going to do some research and present the answer the next day. So yeah, EV stuff, Regan. All right, so I might regret not having thank you notes again, and I keep making this mistake, but we're coming to the end of this event. So we had great presentations today, and I would like to thank some people here. So thank you, Dr. Paul Mazarol, President and Vice Chancellor of the University of New Brunswick. Dr. Dave McGee, once again, thank you for joining us. Joshua Leon, the Dean of Engineering at the University of New Brunswick. Dr. Dayendra Shukla, the Chair of the Dr. J. Herbert Smith Center for Technology Management and Entrepreneurship. Okay. Our funding partners, the Atlantic Canada Opportunities Agency, ACOA, and also the New Brunswick Innovation Foundation, NBIF. Thank you all of our mentors who volunteer their time to be with our cohort and to pass along some of their knowledge to them. All of our instructors, the staff, the Dr. J. Herbert Smith Center team. So thank you so much. Thank you all of you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the presentations. And finally, thank you all of these amazing entrepreneurs that were part of this cohort. I hope you enjoy your time with us as much as we enjoy spending time with you. Thank you very much.